Okay, we left off 884, paragraph 3. We're speaking about people who have tremendous Avas Hashem. Vayimit beineim kozem min nafshosam legodlu masheniglo lahem mashachayovim bo laboris borach min avoda min amase. It is considered very little, he says, on their part, in the light of their recognition of how much they owe the Creator. Min avoda v'amase. What's appreciation dependent upon? It's a recognition. What did you receive? So if a person has a greater appreciation of what he received, so the reciprocation is not very difficult. It's easy to reciprocate if you truly feel that you're a beneficiary in a very special way of your benefactor. Therefore they serve their Creator with the rational mitzvos, umusar michodim, with specific disciplines, umidos tovos ruchanios, and spiritual characteristics, vosif al mitzvos hayidus bevor levovam leilkim bohem, and they even add to the mitzvos due to the purity of their hearts. Lomdu b'darkei neviim min hogei hachasidim levakish ratzon habari behem, and they learned from the ways of the neviim and the conduct of the Hasidim to seek out to be in good standing with their Creator, shekabelosam him. And what is the concept of Hidur Mitzvah? What is Hidur Mitzvah? When you do a mitzvah, you should do it in the most elaborate, beautiful way. Why? It's an expression who you're serving. You're serving an ordinary being, okay, doesn't have to be so special. So it's an expression of acknowledgement. See, there's a little bit of a disconnect. Person buys a special esrig, special kiddush cup. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says that when you buy a menorah, if you could afford it, it should be a silver menorah for Hanukkah. Why? Hidur mitzvah. So why, when a person goes and buys the menorah, why does he buy the menorah? The silver menorah, or the more elaborate menorah? Why does he buy it? Do you think for a moment? Well, Hidur mitzvah. What's the meaning of Hidur mitzvah? There's a little bit of a disconnect. When I do the mitzvah, I want to do it in the most beautiful way. Why? Because when you do a mitzvah, you're supposed to do it beautifully. No. You don't think about that next step. You need that connection, because when the mitzvah is to serve Hashem, it demonstrates it's more appropriate. I'll give you an example. You have two people you have to give gifts to. One person, you go to his simcha, you give him one kind of gift. Another person, because he's a wealthier person, you can't give that kind of gift. I can't give that kind of gift. Why not? It's not appropriate. What do you mean it's not appropriate? It's good enough for Mr. A. Why isn't it good enough for Mr. B? So there, the real reason is because it's not going to reflect well on you. How will he see it? You know, it's interesting. It's a chazal. You know, we go and we honor the Shabbos. So the Medrash says, we say, Takadosh Baruch Hu, we honor you. If the king visits everyone's home, we have ordinary homes. And to the degree of creating a setting, it's not an appropriate setting. Hashem says it's okay. Whatever you do is fine. So again, it's not because the other person sees it in the negative. We have to understand it has to be from our vantage point. It's inappropriate for us not to do our best. That's the way you serve the king. That's the way you host the king. You host the guest not because the guest is going to see it in the negative. Because it's not respectful to host him anything less than he should be hosted. So when you do a mitzvah for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how should the mitzvah be done? In the most elaborate way? So Zekein Vanveyu is not just, well, I do a mitzvah, I do it in the most special way. But you don't think about the next part. Why? Because you're serving God. Because when you serve God, you have to do it in the most elaborate, the most beautiful way. Very important. That it's a small little thought, but that thought makes the difference. He doesn't have. Depends. You're not obligated to spend more than a certain amount on Hidur Mitzvah. You're not obligated to go all, to spend a fortune. Hidur Mitzvah. If you can afford it, it's one thing. It's your prerogative. Hidur Mitzvah is only, it says ad shlish. You add a third to what the base price is. That's Hidur Mitzvah. A third based on the base price. But again, we're discussing over here, conceptually speaking, why do you do Hidur Mitzvah? Because the mitzvah should be done the most elaborate way. Why? Okay? It's Zeh Keli Va'anveyu. Right? This is my God, I will extol him. So it's because it's Hashem, therefore you're doing it in the most special way. Right, exactly.
So if you go out and buy a $400 esrog because you now know that I have a $400 esrog.
No, you do think. I'm just saying you do think Hidur Mitzvah.
Right.
You're not doing it to ingratiate. I want to do the mitzvah the most elaborate way. But why? You don't think the why. I think the why is important to think the why. If you think the why, it brings it to another level, the mitzvah. That's what I'm saying. I'm doing because when you serve Hashem, only the best should be done. This is my expression of reverence and respect for Hashem, therefore I buy the best, the most beautiful. To be continued. It's also depends. What? What do you mean having use? Since it's not hither. No. Should get. It's not a question of taking care. It's the object itself. Right, it's the object itself. But the Chovot HaLevavos used to rebuke his, in Europe, yeshiva bochum would get married at an older age, the 30s, mid-30s. Why? Because they felt they couldn't get married. David is important. David Segelov, because until they could furnish a home, they felt it wasn't appropriate to get married. How do you marry a woman and not provide a furnished home? So until they had the means to be able to furnish a home, so the Chovot HaLevavos used to say, we say ki al kesko, that Hashem says my throne is not complete. So he says Hashem, his throne is not complete. But you mean you have to have a dining room set with chairs? If some of the chairs are missing, you can't get married. That was his point. So again, why do you do something? You for yourself, it's good. You need more. For him, it's okay, even though it's lacking. So again, it emphasizes this point. Okay, we left off on.